Hello, dear students. Welcome today to the session today. And we are going to check some information about the worksheet number 2 for the second semester, okay? Today we continue with the unit number 7, okay? But now we are going to work into the activity worksheet number 2. As you can see here, you have the information that was sent today, October 26th, okay? And obviously here you have the topics. Today we're going to focus on to the grammar, about the present perfect and the use of ever and never. We're going to talk about past experiences. Here you have the details of the information, and you have the page 74 of the student book that we are going to work today. As part of the evaluation, you are going to work also into the workbook page 74. And also today, you are going to complete the activities with some interactive worksheets that obviously you are going to work according to this, okay? And obviously, you will have this part of the videos, including for the process to that. Here you have the information that you can complete here in this worksheet in order to check the activities. Remember, if you have the student book, okay, you can do it again in this and paste the information. You have the writing, and in this section, you have the evidence and you have the links that you're going to work and you're going to copy and paste the information for that, okay? As the evidences for the working on this. Remember, you have the student book and you have the workbook. You can complete in the student book and in the workbook, but remember that you have to copy and paste for digital section. You are going to copy and paste information and to paste the evidences about that. Recuerde, puede trabajar en su libro, en su student book o en su workbook. Lo puede hacer, pero debe de hacer el escaneo correspondiente de las páginas que estamos desglosando en cada ficha y debe colocarlas en estos documentos semanales y obviamente esas son sus evidencias digitales. O en su defecto, si usted prefiere trabajar en esta ficha, no hay ningún inconveniente. Okay, as this we can see that those are the parts of the activities that we mentioned before. Right now, we're going to start with the interactive book, okay? And obviously here we have, remember that in the last session, we talked about the friends, we talked about some skills and interests. Right now, we continue with the second part, and we're going to introduce page 74 in this case about the grammar. We're going to talk about the present perfect using ever and never. It's really important that you read the information that you have in your, okay? And obviously, to read the info that you have there. Remember that we use the present perfect to talk about experiences when the exact time or the date isn't important. Remember, present perfect about past experiences. What is the first condition that we use to talk about the present perfect? The use of have and the verb in past participle, or has and the verb in past participle form. Have or haven't and the verb in the past participle form. Have or has or hasn't and the verb in past participle form. Those are the sentences. Into the questions, yes, no questions, have and the verb in the past participle form. Has and the verb in the past participle form. That is the expressions that we can use to do that. Remember that we use ever and never in the present perfect tense. Specifically, ever in the question and never as a negative answer to do this. That is the present perfect tense, okay? When you talk about experiences, and obviously you are talking about something that happened in the past, now in the present, about your experiences. Remember, you are talking about this situation, you have to remember, he, she, it, you are going to use the expression. In this case, remember that you have has, plus the past participle of the verbs. Has and, in this case, you are going to use plus the past participle form of the verb. That is exactly what you are going to use in this case, okay? Remember also that you can say the negative form, has not, or in this case that you can use in this case, hasn't or hasn't in this case for the contraction that you are going to use, okay? That is the form that you are going to use specifically when you are talking about he, she, or it. When you're talking about, in this case, we or they, definitely in this case, you are going to use only the expression for have. You're using only the expression for have, or if you're using have not or haven't, that is the expression that you probably use talking about this form of this, okay? And definitely it's going to happen with this. That is a present perfect tense. Remember that again, ever you are going to include in the question and never that you're going to include into the negative form. That is the part of the grammar that we have in this. According to this situation, I am going to help you in this case and invite you to pay attention to the following video that we are going to work because it's really helpful, okay, about this used for that, okay? Just give me a minute so I will help, okay? Okay, wait a minute, okay? So here you will find, attention, okay, 1, 2, and 3, pay attention.
Present perfect. We use the present perfect to talk about experiences in our life when the exact time or date isn't important. We're only interested in the fact that this event happened and we aren't focusing on any of the details of it. I've seen an elephant. Have you tried sushi? I haven't read Lord of the Rings. Ever and never. We often use ever and never with the present perfect when we talk and ask about experiences. Ever means at some time in the past. We use it before the main verb. We often use it when we think the situation probably hasn't happened.
Remember, specifically ever in this case, when you refers to at some time in the past, and obviously we use before the principal verb. Specifically, I prefer to use that in the question form. Attention with the second part.
Have you ever thought about going into space? Has your grandmother ever told you about her childhood?
As you can see here, have you ever is in the question. Has your grandmother ever is in the question. Ever and the past participle of the verb, ever thought. Ever told, ever and the past participle of the form, have or has, okay? Ever is specifically used into the question, okay? Listen.
Never means at no time in the past. We use it before the main verb. I've never tried Russian food. Is it nice? My dad has never been abroad. Can you believe it?
Okay, and here you have never. That is like the negative answer. Instead of saying no, you say never, and you're going to use have, never tried. Have and never and the verb in past participle. Has, never, and the verb in past participle. Specifically talking about some things related to those forms of the present perfect tense. In this case, we have, or we continue with the second part, and you have the following activity in this. In your student book, you have this column of verbs, okay? And you're going to write the past participle of the verbs according to this, okay? Remember, the past participle of the irregular verbs, the past participle. In the present perfect tense, you are going to use have or has and the verb in past participle form. And obviously here you are going to find some of the options that I need. Please, right now I need that you complete in the spaces. Right now I need that you complete the verbs into the past participle forms, okay? You are going to have exactly 2 minutes to do the activity using information, okay? Quickly, let's do it, right? 1, 2, and 3, okay? You have 2 minutes. Are you ready? Did you finish? Okay, pay attention to the answers, okay? Pay attention to the answers. Remember, come, come. Do, done. Drink, drunk. Eat, eaten. Live, left. Lose, lost. Meet, met. Sleep, slept. Speak, spoken. Take, taken. Write, written. Remember, those are the past participle form of the verbs that you are going to use, okay? After this little review about the past participle of some verbs, okay, now we are going to read the following activity. In this section, you are going to have 7 sentences, and you have here a box with some verbs. You are going to read, and obviously you are going to select one, but you are going to use the verb into the past participle form and into the contraction. Remember, what is the contraction? I've won. She's won, for example. The apostrophe BE is the contraction for have. Apostrophe S is the contraction for has, okay? You have to read the 7 sentences and select one of the verbs and complete using the correct form, applying the present perfect tense. Okay, right now, start working. 2 minutes. Did you finish? Okay, check your errors. Pay attention to the number 2. My uncle apostrophe S. That is the contraction, my uncles. What is the contraction? Apostrophe S. What is the contraction? Apostrophe S has played. Remember, has and the verb in the past participle form. We continue with the next one. We continue with the next one, okay? Attention, we continue with the next one. In this case, we have learned, the contraction, apostrophe BE. I've learned. I've learned. That is the correct form of the past participle form. We continue with the number 4. Pay attention. We said, my brother has, my brother's apostrophe is acted, okay? Continue with the number 5. I've held, I have held. Precious, okay? About the precious, we say have driven, okay? You have apostrophe BE and driven in this case. Kangaroo, okay? So we have my sister's cooked, my sister has, my sister's, the apostrophe is, and cooked for the form of the past participle form of the verbs, okay? Remember, he, she, it, has, and the verb in the past participle form. You, we, they, I, have, and the verb in the past participle form. He, she, it, apostrophe S, the contraction for has. You, we, they, I've, apostrophe BE for the contraction form of this. That is the first part that we have about exercises that you have to complete using this form of this. In the next exercise that we have here, we have to unscramble. What is to unscramble? To put in order. You are going to put in order the sentences. Here is in disorder, so you are going to form. Look at the example. My brother, the subject, hasn't played, that is the form of the present perfect, a video game. Please, I need that you read the 8 sentences right now. Please, I need that you read unscramble, order the sentences and form the correct form of the correct statement into the present perfect tense. 2 minutes. Okay, quickly, let's do it. Work now. Okay, you finished the number 2? Pay attention. Look at example for the number 2. Correct your errors. Have they tried fish and chips? It's a question. You are going to use have they tried. That is the present perfect tense, and you have a question. Okay, continue with the number 3. Quickly, let's do it. Complete the number 3, okay? Let's do it. Let's do it. Complete the number 3, okay? Are you ready? Check your answer. Number 3. Emily, the subject, has, because it's she, flown, the verb, Emily has flown in a helicopter. Present perfect tense, a sentence. Continue with the number 4. Let's do it. Continue with the number 4. Read and order the sentence and scramble it, okay? Are you ready? Correct your errors. Connor, the person of the subject, hasn't seen a Harry Potter film. And obviously you have the rest of the exercises to complete the activities. Okay? Remember, questions have you or has she, and the past participle of the forms of the verbs. Please correct your errors, check them for your homework. Are you ready? Let's do it, okay? In this case, we finished this first part, and obviously you have to complete the following quiz. Here you have 8 questions. There are some spaces. In the parentheses, you have to use the verbs in the present perfect tense or the past participle form. Okay? The number 1, sing, sung. The number 2, forget. What is the past participle of forget? Forgotten. The number 3, meet. The past participle met. Number 4, read. The past participle read is only the pronunciation. Visit. What is the past participle? Visited. Eat. What is the past participle? Eaten. See. What is the past participle? Sing. Cry. Okay, and what is the past participle? Cried. That is the form. Remember, you have the regular verbs that finish in ed. There is not a problem. They are going never change. They never change. But those irregular forms will change present, past, and past participle form. You have to be careful with this in the past participle form of the verbs. You have the pronunciation. Listen to this pronunciation, the stress forms that you are going to use to do that. Attention.
1. Have you ever ridden a horse? 2.
Has she ever played the piano?
3. They've never flown in a plane.
Okay, have you ever, has she ever played? Have they ever never flown in this? Okay, that is a stress pronunciation for these activities. And obviously you have the information related to this about situation that you have about the experiences that have been working on this, okay? That is the first part of this. In the workbook, you have the information related to the grammar. And obviously here you have the information. That is the homework, okay? That is the task. You have the information in your workbook about Edna and about Bruno. In the parentheses, you have the verbs. Remember, complete the sentence with the present perfect. Use contractions, the short form, has or have, and the verb in the past participle form. Okay, you have this block of these two activities. In the next block, you have the group of the verbs in the box. You are going to read. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the pairs of verbs in the box. Use the present perfect tense. Use contracted forms. Again, you read the information. You are going to select one of the options, but using present perfect tense. Have or has, and the verb in past participle form. Okay? We continue with the next option, and obviously here you are going to write the questions. Remember, yes or no questions. Have you ever? Has she ever? And you are going to use that if you have a yes, no question. And you are going to transform this information into questions. In the exercise number 4, you have a conversation, okay, that you are going to use that. In the parentheses, you have some of the clues that will help you to form this. And you are going to make the question and you are going to complete the spaces. Questions and answers using the present perfect tense, and you are going to use the contracted forms using the contractions. Those are the activities that you have in the workbook for the next class. The last part is the writing. What is in the writing? Attention, you are going to write in the box, into the worksheet, you are going to write and says, think about one of your grandparents, your grandmother or your grandfather. Write a paragraph about your different experience. You are going to narrate. You are going to write. You're going to make a narration about the past things that you do with your grandmother or your grandfather, and now that you remember in the present. And you're going to use present perfect tense to do that. Maybe 5 lines. You're going to write 5 lines about this little composition. And you're going to finish this section for this activity. The next class, we are going to check some of the answers and we are going to support you with this kind of activities. In this case, we finish the explanation of this week. You have an explanation of the grammar, okay? Now you are going to use the present perfect tense. Remember that you are going to work the present perfect tense and the use of the past participle form of the verbs, okay? Remember, read the rules and follow the instructions to work on that, okay? ¿Tiene usted la ficha número 2? ¿Tiene usted la explicación de la parte gramatical de la ficha número 2? Estamos trabajando de manera asincrónica, dándole lectura a lo que usted tiene del texto y apoyándose en este video tutorial. Por favor, hay estudiantes nuevos que han ingresado y que están recién poniéndose al día. Lamentablemente tendrán que ajustarse un poco a las necesidades del resto del grupo. Por favor, para todos, el envío del deber es usando un archivo PDF, no Word, no le sirve, no le puedo calificar. No pierda tiempo porque usted ya lo sabe. Va a adjuntar un archivo de Word, indicando su nombre y la ficha en la semana y obviamente pues el curso al que le corresponde. Número 2, busque la asignación de la semana que le corresponde. No lo postee al muro porque eso no me llega. No lo postee en mensaje de Edmodo porque eso tampoco lo puedo revisar. La única manera en la que yo puedo revisar su tarea semanal es a través de la asignación que le corresponde. 3, revise la asignación. No se conforme con haber mandado la tarea de la semana. Ya mandé, ¿qué importa? Ya tengo la nota. No. Usted revise la asignación todos los días. Usted debe revisar todos los días su plataforma de Edmodo. Y usted puede revisar. Si ya tiene 1 en su asignación, perfecto. No hay de qué preocuparse. Pero siempre que tenga menos de 1 por cada asignación, significa que va a haber un comentario de esa asignación. Muchos padres indican y mandan mail preocupados, porque es lógico. Pero si mi hijo me dice que, claro, le dice lo que conviene. Usted aprende a ser honesto. Sí, mamá, yo envié la tarea, ya voy a revisar la asignación, puede ser que me haya puesto algo la Miss. Y ahí yo le explico qué es lo que tiene que cambiar, qué es lo que tiene que hacer, qué es lo que tiene que corregir dentro de esos mismos días, no más de 1 o 2 días, para que usted corrija su asignación y poder calificarle sobre el punto que se merece. Cuando ya las asignaciones pasan de un tiempo más de una semana, es lógico que ya no va a valer la misma puntuación, porque debemos ser justos. Hay estudiantes que mandan sus deberes a tiempo. Si se les manda a corregir, lo hacen de manera inmediata y es obvio, tienen una muy buena calificación o la calificación completa. Pero no podemos ser injustos con ellos si le damos la oportunidad a más de 1 o 2 que son recurrentes, ¿verdad? Y que obviamente pues no están mandando sus asignaciones a tiempo. Por favor, padres de familia, revisen las asignaciones de su hijo. No solo es el hecho de enviar, ya lo envió, deben de revisar las recomendaciones que se le hacen. Para culminar, por favor, recuerden que las clases pueden ser sincrónicas o asincrónicas. Cuando son sincrónicas, se les envía 20 minutos antes de la clase, pero obviamente pues esta primera semana la estamos trabajando de esta manera, adjuntándoles este video tutorial. It was a pleasure to have this class with you today. And obviously remember, stay at home, take care of yourself, and obviously it's our obligation to be helpful in these cases. Pronto nos veremos, cuídese mucho y recuerde, tiene usted la mensajería de Edmodo para cualquier planteamiento o cualquier pregunta. ¿Ok? Nos vemos. Cuídense. Bye. Okay, see you. Bye.